Nothing beats a good beer.
Now everybody's died, so until our tears are dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more.
What's up, people? Welcome to SID EFFECT. First of all, again, I'd like to thank every single one of you who liked and shared my previous video. The feedback was amazing, and please do keep it coming. It means a lot to me. And with that, let's just jump into the video. Now let me paint a picture for you. Think about a television show where the lead was the silent man, a dark past, emotional baggage, and a family that weighed him down. But he persevered, used his smartness, got ahead of everyone else. He often cost someone their life and a lot of times a lot of trouble to their family to get to this point. Now which show are you thinking about? Was it True Detective? Was it Sopranos? Was it Mad Men? Or was it Breaking Bad? Now you're not wrong if you're thinking of any of these shows. But why is that? Why does television gravitate towards this dark silent type? Well, today let's discuss the anti-hero stereotype and why the industry might be moving away from it. A lot of the above mentioned shows are considered to be the peak of television. Almost everyone agrees that HBO ushered in the golden age of television with Sopranos. And ever since that 6th episode where Tony killed that guy with his bare hands, TV has been enamored with this dark silent type.
Your hand is bleeding. Dad, where did you go? You saw that man, didn't you?
These shows were centered around a difficult man, often played by a charismatic actor, written by people who were considered difficult themselves. Most of these prestige shows were written in a realistic world, shot cinematically, and depicted a morally grey world. But the person in the center was often made out to be smarter than everyone else around him, but definitely undervalued. He often had a plan which he kept close to his chest, building up throughout the episode, making everyone ask, how is he gonna get out of this one?
I am the one who knocks.
This is what made these shows so enjoyable for the audience. These characters became a gateway for the audience into a world and life of filth and excitement, offering the viewer an experience into a world of taboo and unknown, often only accessible to people in the underworld, rich white families, or often even someone who's killed someone. A primal feeling of elation, often associated with being alive.
I was alive.
Feel alive.
But all these stories made a point to show us how these characters got here, so that we can sympathize with them. Most famously, Walter White from Breaking Bad. He was working 2 jobs to get his family by barely, and on top of that, he was slapped with terminal cancer. This made us feel kind of justified when he suddenly flipped into the drug lord that he became.
Say my name.
Other tropes that were often common to these characters were they had a moral code. A lot of times they would not kill children, not sell drugs to children, not harm women, not harm families. This made them feel more like a hero even though they were not.
Children, I could never do that.
What?
I have standards.
And a very important trope was that the shows always gave us hope that maybe this character would in the end do something that would redeem him from all the bad things that he's done from the start of the show till the final episode. We keep hoping that he does something that redeems him, that makes it all justified. But were they really aspirational? I don't think so. Walter White drained his wife morally, emotionally, and mentally by the end of the series.
You're hostage.
These characters were troubled, and they made lives of everyone around them more difficult, only to make their lives more exciting or fulfilling. These were more than often men who did not respect their own relations and put everyone around them in danger.
We're in a situation where everybody involved knows the stakes. And if you're going to accept those stakes, you got to do certain things. It's business.
But ever since the end of Breaking Bad, things have been going away from this trope. Everything that happened with #MeToo movement made it more difficult to like these characters. Some actors were even removed from their own shows because of the allegations.
You're not respectful of women. You're not really respectful of people.
This new age of television started moving away from glorifying these anti-heroes. These series show characters who are just as smart as their older counterparts, just as charismatic, but not really redeemable. The writers make a point to clearly show us that these characters are totally incapable of changing.
You're responsible for your own happiness, you know?
Good lord, that's depressing.
No, it's not.
I'm responsible for my own happiness. I can't even be responsible for my own breakfast.
The creators have to go out of their way now to show us that these characters are nothing to be sympathized with, because some people still relate to them.
I don't want you or anyone else justifying their shitty behavior because of the show.
This person in the center is no longer a role model. Their internal self-loathing used for sympathy in the past is now shown for what it really does. How it hurts everyone around them and makes everyone's life miserable.
You've drawn us an outline of a person who doesn't think about others, a person who puts his own needs first, and over, other people get hurt.
For example, let's take Bojack. He's very similar to Don Draper if you think about it.
You keep running forward no matter what.
I have a life, and it only goes in one direction, forward.
He's a womanizer, alcoholic, very charismatic. But the creators of BoJack Horseman made sure that Bojack had to face consequences for everything he did. Whereas Don Draper was made out to be a good guy just because he helped himself feel better by the end of the series. You see the contrast, right? Another great example would be Ozark, and it shows us how these new tropes can still be just as successful in the market. These new shows also give us a chance to introspect that maybe a lot of these older characters that we loved were not exactly the best. We were holding them to a much lower standard.
I'm in the empire business.
Mr. White, is a meth empire really something to be that proud of?
We let them get away with a lot in this world while still cheering for them to have success in the end. Maybe things were different back in 2013 or before that, but now things are changing. A lot of things socially that were fine back then are not acceptable now. And you cannot change yourself unless you try to think that maybe you're wrong. Maybe a lot of the things that you believed while growing up or while getting to where you are right now were wrong. For example, I'm a Hindu from India, and ever since I've moved to USA, I realized I don't really understand what being a minority is. Maybe I'll never understand.
No shit, Sherlock!
But the fact that I know that I do not understand makes me more susceptible to making positive choices towards people who do feel that they are a minority. These past 3 years have been really confusing for me. I've been trying to identify who I really am, what I really do believe, and what I've believed throughout my life might actually be wrong. But I understand that it's a scary process. Not everyone might be willing to question themselves. So yeah, please don't be scared in asking yourself and people around you these difficult questions. Because not everyone has the right answers. And you cannot find the right answer unless you talk to someone about it. So again, please do talk to people around you about these things that are confusing you. Because if we do not change ourselves now, we won't be able to build a society which our future generations can enjoy. Also, please do let me know which darker character did you most relate to on television. So yeah, with that said, I think you've had enough of me for a day. Please do like, share and subscribe and be nice to each other. Sit out!